Very good afternoon, Gurutva. Yeah. Join first, all of you. So today I am going to discuss about what is object and what is direct object and indirect object. How to identify direct and indirect object. It's a question sometimes it arises in our mind. How to differentiate direct and indirect object. Okay, so don't get panic while you will find this kind of situation. So you have to just try to know what is this. First of all, we are yesterday I discussed about subject, verb and object. Subject is either a noun or a pronoun. Here same thing in the case of object also, you should be knowing this one. Yes, object is also either a noun or a pronoun. Okay, so let us know about this. Some verbs have two objects. Sometimes always you will not find book. Okay, always you will not find all these things in book, but sometimes we are getting this kind of exercise. Suppose if I say, okay, I ate this. Okay, I ate this. So only this is the object here. Okay, my mother gives me a pen. If I say my mother gives me a pen, so here objects are two. Me is also an object and a pen is also an object. So in this sentence we have found two objects. So here today we will know in this one we have two objects. One is me, another is a pen. So now you have to know which one is direct object and which one is indirect object. So let us know. Just see this screen. I am going to share this screen with you. So see this one. Some verbs have two objects. Okay. The direct object receives the action of the verb. Okay. In direct subject you will find the receive. What action? The action of the verb. My mother gives me a pen. Gives what? If this question arises, that means what? She gave a pen to me, isn't it? So pen is the direct object. Okay. Receives the action of the verb. This is called direct object. And the indirect object tells to whom or for whom the action is done. Now try to understand this indirect object is me here because for whom or to whom she gave this pen. She gave this pen to me. So me is the indirect object. So my dear children, this is not at all very tough and not at all very clumsy also. You have to be sure which one is direct and which one is indirect. So, direct object receives the action of the verb. Just remember these things. It receives the action of the verb. My mother gives me a pen. So, gives what? क्या दिया उन्होंने? A pen. So, a pen will be the direct object. और किसको दिया? Okay, to whom or for whom this action is done? Of course, me. So, me is the indirect object. So clear to you? So now many more examples I am showing you in this screen. So indirect object, Dad bought James a bike. So see this example, you can see my cursor here. And in that one it is written Dad brought James a bike. So direct object receives the action. So what is direct? Bought what? Of course, a bike. So a bike will be the direct object here, and for whom or to whom he gave this bike? Of course, James. So James will be the indirect object and bike will be the direct object. देखो ये just remember this one, the direct object receives the action of the verb. Always remember these things, the direct object receives the action of the verb. Direct object receives the action of the verb. Just remember this thing. Clear to you? Now see many more examples you will find here. देखो subject, verb, indirect object and direct object. So many examples it is given, and you also try to do these things at home so that you can get practice and get good marks. Okay, first one, the bank lends people money. Next one is Madison is making her doll a dress. Third one is I am writing grandma a letter. Next one, grandma is reading Diana a story. Andrew gave his dog a bone. We left you some food. Joshua is showing us his stamp. Miss Lee found Alice a queer. So here this is not very tough, but thing is that you have to keep this thing in your mind. Okay, so that's why you have to know these things. So the bank, of course subject, noun is there, lends is verb, lends what? Lends what? Money. So money will be the direct object. Or to whom or for whom? People. Clear? Next one, medicine, noun, of course subject, then verb is making, making what? A dress. So this is direct object and her doll will be the indirect object. So again, I am writing grandma a letter. So I am writing what? Of course a letter. To whom? For whom I am writing this? Grandma. So see, direct object try to understand and indirect object also. Grandma is reading Diana a story. Is reading what? A story. So of course a story will be the direct object and grandma, Diana will be the indirect object. Next is Andrew gave his dog a bone. So Andrew gave what? A bone. To whom or for whom? Okay, for what? You can say yes, to his dog. So this will be the indirect object. So see others examples also. We left you some food. Jova is showing us his stamps. Miss Lee found Alice a chair. So my dear children, try to focus on these. The indirect object usually comes before the direct object. और एक चीज just जान लो, ठीक है? Indirect object, what is the placement of this? So it's quite easy, okay? Indirect object is always coming before the direct object. देखो जितना भी example I have shown you here, all these direct objects come just after the indirect object. Okay, so before direct object you will find one indirect object. Okay. Indirect object is always coming before the direct object. So try to know these things and just try to clarify the matter. जब आप लोगों को दो object रहते हैं, children are there, facing lots of confusion. Why this kind of two objects? They think that this is not object. They think it's something else, complement, or they will say that also, or one or two, three children they are writing is adverb also. So this is not good. So you should know which one is direct object and which one is indirect object. Okay, and just try to, it's a very tricky thing. You have to know that indirect object is always coming before the direct object. Always coming before the direct object. Okay, now children, this small exercise is for you. Just do it very, very quickly. Okay, after that I will discuss more about these. So you just try to solve this exercise, and this exercise is very interesting also. Okay, So Anna has drawn a panda. Anna has drawn a panda. They are playing table tennis. Little Kate knows the alphabet well. Dad bought a computer. I'm writing a letter. Birds have feathers. Okay? And the workmen are building a house. Samantha has a pretty doll. The children received one gift each. Do you know the answer? So in this sentence, read the following sentences, then draw a line under the subjects and circle around the object. जितना ऑब्जेक्ट है आपको सर्कल करना है, बट हाउ टू डू सर्कल, अभी आपको सब्जेक्ट छोड़ दो, यू लीव अबाउट सब्जेक्ट ओनली. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू आइडेंटिफाई ओनली द ऑब्जेक्ट. ओके, पहले हम लोग ऑब्जेक्ट करते हैं, उसके बाद सब्जेक्ट करेंगे. ठीक है, फर्स्ट ओनली आइडेंटिफाई ऑब्जेक्ट. जस्ट ट्राई टू listen my instruction properly and then you do the same. Okay, let me tell you. Yes, first one is a panda is an object. Okay, next one is table tennis. Okay, table tennis is an object here. Little Kate knows the alphabet well. So here well is not an object. Which one is object? Of course the alphabet. Okay, of course the alphabet is the object. Next is Dad bought a computer. A computer is the object here. Okay, next I am writing a letter. A letter is the object. Next, birds have feathers. So these feathers is an object. The workmen are building a house. So a house is object. Next is Samantha has a pretty doll. A pretty doll is an object. A pretty doll, full. Okay, the children received one gift each. So, one gift. Okay, next, do you know the answer? Only the answer. And here, subject is of course Annie, they, little Kate, Dad, I, birds, the workman, Samantha, children, you. All these are subjects here. Okay, now dear children, it's your turn to do this one. There are two objects in each sentence. Draw a line. We can't draw here lines, so you just tell me which one is direct and which one is indirect object. So it's quite easy. Dad gave Dave a present. So here a present is the direct object and Dave is the indirect object. Mom is making the children a meal. So a meal is the direct object and the children is indirect object. Next, Mr. Thomas bought them ice cream. So ice cream cones will be the direct object and them will be the indirect object. Next, I sent Annie a birthday cake. So a birthday cake will be the indirect object and Annie will be the direct, a birthday cake will be the direct object and Annie will be the indirect object. Okay. Granny told us a story. A story of course direct and us is indirect. A waiter brought the guests their drinks. So their drinks will be the direct object. The guest will be the indirect object. Can I get you a sandwich? Okay, a sandwich will be the direct object and you will be the indirect object. Next is the police officer showed us the way to the museum. So here answer is that the way to the museum will be the direct object and us will be the indirect object. So my dear children, we have discussed all the things very clearly. Now you just tell me whether you have any doubts or if you do not have any doubts, so I am going to continue, or if you have any doubts, you just write it now. Okay? If you have any doubts, you just write it down. Those who have doubts, you just write it quickly. Okay? You write it quickly, those who have doubts. Okay? If you do not have any doubts, it's fine, very good. Okay, so next time while writing and while doing this thing, don't do any confusion and don't make any confusion. Which one is direct, which one is indirect, which one is this and that. You have to know everything. Okay. Yes, A to Z you have to know. All the grammatical things, all the trick you should know, so that you can get very good marks in your test. Due to this small thing, you are not getting good marks. Okay. So dear children, Shivraj, if you have any doubts, you write it now. अगर doubt है अभी का अभी लिखो. Okay. Any doubt? No doubt? Okay, so ठीक है, so let us go back. Good, no problem, then no issue. So got this one? Yeah. So dear children, there are many examples you will find here. So today's exercise, you just remember, you write at least 10 examples of direct object and indirect object. Okay, and try to understand which one is complement. If I say, okay, he went, she is writing slowly. If I say she is writing slowly, in this one you will not find any object. But slowly is written, but don't write slowly as an object. It's what? It's of course adverb, but here in this sentence we say it's a complement only. Okay, so these kind of things you shouldn't, means while writing answers, while writing, practicing this one, you don't do any mistake. Okay, समझ में आया? सबको मेरा यही कहना है कि all of you should practice it properly. ठीक है, all of you should practice it properly. ठीक है, so at least all of you write 10 examples of that, what is direct object and what is indirect object. Okay, many children are making, while doing this one, they are not writing properly. And subject, one thing what we have learned today, we have learned what is subject, what is object, we have two objects, direct object and indirect object. If I say subject, what is subject? How to identify subject? Yes, subject is an word, okay, which is noun. Okay, and subject is coming at the very beginning always, and we should write it in the capital letter. And sometimes what happens? Subject is either a noun or a pronoun. Okay, then we have identified verb. Verb meaning what? Action words. All action words meaning what? Doing words. Lands, make, write, read, gave, anything related with action, we call it action words, and in Hindu we call it kriya. ठीक है, उसके बाद देखो we have learned object. Object is either a noun or a pronoun, just like subject only. Subject में क्या है? Subject भी अपने को क्या है? either a noun or a pronoun. तो सेम थिंग सब्जेक्ट जैसे ऑब्जेक्ट को भी ऑब्जेक्ट भी सेम ही है, ऑब्जेक्ट भी नाउन है नहीं तो pronoun है. And next what we have found? We have two types of objects here. One is direct object, another one is indirect object. Okay, suppose my mother gave me a pen. One example I gave you. So my mother is of course subject, gave is verb, me and a pen is the direct object. How can you identify this direct object? Direct object, why? Because direct object receives the action of the verb. It receives the action of the verb, meaning verb ने जो किया what? Gave what? A pen. Okay? And to me, for किसके लिए लाया? क्यों लाया? किसके लिए लाए? तो to whom or for whom? So it will be me only, and that's why we call it indirect object. Okay, so here example you can see dad bought James a bike. So dad is subject, bought is verb, and James a bike. Okay, bought, what action of the verb? What is the action of the verb? What receives? Yes, we receives a bike here. So bike is direct object and James will be the indirect object. So my dear children, so please keep this thing in your mind. Okay, and if you practice, I know you will definitely get very good marks in your test. Okay, so now I think you don't have any doubts. So next class I'll discuss more about these things, and then next week onwards I'll start again lesson. ठीक है? 3 days lesson, 3 days grammar. Likewise I'll complete. Okay, and I'll teach 1 or 2 writing part also. Okay, writing what you need now, almost everything, whatever it is there in class 6, same thing only, and this time you have to know only how to write email writing. Okay, email I'll teach you, mail लिखना है, कैसे लिखना है, how to do this one, that I'll make one video and I'll upload it. Okay, or I might teach it in this classroom itself, live class पे सिखा देंगे, आप लोग जरूर class देखना. If you attend, you can definitely learn in this classroom only. Okay, so now one more thing you just remember, देखो direct object and indirect object जो अगर वो लोग कैसे आते हैं. Okay, the indirect object usually comes before the direct object. Indirect object always plays before the direct object. Okay, try to remember, दोनों साथ साथ रहते हैं, अलग नहीं रहते. Indirect object, it comes before the direct object. Okay, so please try to practice it, try to learn it. If you practice, you will get good marks. Okay, अच्छा, those who have sent papers in Google Classroom, well done for them, excellent. Okay, but some of the children, they made little mischief also. They were not knowing. किसी बच्चे ने मुझे 5 PDF भेजा, but this is not fair. आपको एक साथ सबको सिलेक्ट करके you have to make only single PDF and you have to send it. Okay, you have to make only single PDF, but you made it separate. This is not good. Okay, next exam onwards you make only single PDF. Okay, where you will include all the pics. Okay, take all the first of all thing is that, and 3-4 children, they sent so blurred pic, it was horrible. I was asking here and there what you have written. Okay, and that day I started calling 2-3 families I called. They slept also, they didn't pick up the phone also. Okay, not all except 2-3. I am not taking the name, maybe they are not attending class or attending class, I don't know. So some of the children were like that, so this is not appreciated. So next time onwards, if you after writing test, okay, at least you wait for 9 o'clock so that I can call you. And if you send it in Google Classroom, sometimes its file is not opening properly. So sometimes I face lots of problems. So somehow it's over, somehow we have done it, no problem. But those who have sent it very nicely, so congratulations for them, and they really did a very, make our job very easy. So now we no need to search here and there, so it's your folder is made, everything is safe and sound. Okay, so dear children, so no more today. I have just discussed this thing. Now if you have anything, if you want to share anything with me, you just share regarding test or anything. If you want to share, you just share with me. Okay, anything? Yeah, those who have made single PDF, no issue, but some of the children, they make 4 to 5 PDF. I don't understand, and in that PDF only one page is written. Okay, so I have to click here, then I have to check, then again I have to click second one, I have to check third one, fourth one, fifth one, and most of the children what happen, they haven't written their original name. Okay? So while you are doing, no need to give gaming क्या है, कुछ क्या है, awkward, backward, कुछ भी नाम लिख रहे हो. Why are you writing all those things? You write your name and your class. Suppose you are writing Asmi Mantanbar, you write Asmi Mantanbar, class 7A. If you are in B section, you write Vani Trivedi 7B. I am giving example. I know I didn't face problem in that. I am just giving one example. I am not telling कि बानी ने ऐसा किया, अस्मी ने ऐसा किया, not like this. I am giving example कि those who are attending class they can know. ठीक है, आपको अपना नाम ही लिखना है क्लास और सेक्शन के साथ, आप लोग करो. ठीक है, so then what happened while opening this one, it's quite easy, so I am giving tick. See, all these papers are with me only. Here I am giving your marks and all. Okay. So yeah, those who have made single PDF, for them very good, very good. It's a wonderful task you have done. Okay, I don't have any doubt. But those who made separate, next time onwards, don't make it separately. Make only single PDF. आपको पहले फोटो ले लेना है और सब कोई डे सर का वीडियो देखो. उन्होंने इतने अच्छे से बताया, कोई भी एक अनपढ़ भी समझ सकता है. और आप लोग तो पढ़े लिखे बच्चे हो. ठीक है, अगर समझ में नहीं आता और एक बार देख लो आप लोग, नेक्स्ट एग्जाम के लिए अच्छा हो जाएगा. और यू कैन हेल्प टू योर ब्रदर्स एंड सिस्टर्स ऑल्सो. ओके, इसमें कोई गलत बात नहीं है. कुछ सीख लेना, किसी को सिखाना हो तो अच्छी बात होती है. ठीक है ना? तो माय डियर चिल्ड्रन, सो व्हाट एवर वी हैव लर्न टुडे, यू जस्ट प्रैक्टिस इट एंड ट्राई टू गेट good marks in your test. Okay, thank you very much. See you tomorrow.